Hey everyone, welcome on back to my channel. I wanted to talk a little bit about the very heated discussion, should you be debt-free when buying a home? It's big, right? So back in 2014 when we bought a home, I had a little bit left over on my car payment. My wife and I had $70,000 in student loans. We had debt over our heads and we still purchased a house and we still put a big down payment on it. We had some lucky money that we were handed as a gift, more I guess you could say, but we also saved, and we had other debts and other things to think about, but we still were ready to make that purchase. We were easily approved. I think it really depends on your situation. While we were in a good spot, it doesn't mean that everyone else will be. I think one of the famous quotes is, it should never be this much percentage of your income and take home income and all that. That's a little too more complicated. I think that it needs to be something that you can manage. Obviously don't buy a $500,000 house, if you aren't making a decent amount of income. That's obvious. It's a gut thing. If you just keep waiting, I guess you could say, and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, who says that, that debt is going to go away? I very rarely run into a client, or I very rarely run into somebody that I know that it's like, by the way, I have no debt, no mortgages, no cars, nothing on my plate. That's awesome. Or if they just have a mortgage, and that's their only debt, that's awesome too. But it's pretty rare. Maybe 10%, if, 9 out of 10 people I talk to still have a lot of debt. And, if you just keep waiting, like I said, how do you know you're going to be able to manage that debt? And so, you'll know when the time is right, right? We were moved in after a few years of living together in an apartment, after we had got married at that point, we had really committed. And so I think that this whole fantasy of renting for another year or two or so until you save more and more money and, you pay off those debts and stuff like that. Right now it's hard to be realistic. Right? Rent, someone I know, I won't tell you who, but man, someone just told me the other day their rent went up a couple $100 in 1 year, some people are paying $1,600 for rent, $2,000 for rent, believe it or not. So it's hard to defend the rent thing too, Anywhere you can save money, I guess that's a good thing. And, I'm not saying rack up a bunch of debt, but also I don't know if waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting is a great option. You'll know when you're ready. But understand, you can still get approved with a mortgage, if you have debt. It's just, you have to show you're paying it. You have to show you're managing it well. And, we made it happen. We've been in our house for close to 9 years now, coming up on 9 years. And, I think, we made the right decision of buying that house when we did, when we still had debt. Just my 2 cents. Hopefully this was, helpful. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you share with someone that might be useful for, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.